Mishra, just hold on to that thought. We're going to come back to you. I think we have Amit Dixit of Edelweiss Securities who joins us on the phone line. Well, Amit, thanks so much for joining in. I was going through your note that you've written earlier today, and you're talking about steel prices finally coming to life. You know, they've finally seen some kind of increase in the traders market after 6 weeks of decline. But the big news really has been that what's happening in China. Now, reports have indicated that, yes, that's going to be implemented. The export tax that we've been long awaiting is going to be implemented in China. How big a positive is this? And, what would be your key picks from the steel space?
Yeah, hi, Nigel. So thanks for having me on the show. I would say that, as far as the export tax go, so we are still yet to get the details. In fact, the details that I have seen is only ferrochrome and pig iron. But so we still have to see that how much of it is HRC, though I have been hearing market chatters that it would be on HRC as well. So having said that, once export tax is implemented, you will find that regional prices would be recalibrated to the similar levels. And with these regional prices, you will see that international prices also would follow the trend, because whatever is followed by China and CIS countries is generally replicated across. So clearly, that we are quite positive from that point of view. I am still not able to quantify it just because we don't have the fine print as yet.
But on ferrochrome, you've seen the official release that's come out?
No. It is on Bloomberg.
All reports as of now.
Yeah. So there is nothing that is concrete unless we see the fine print. I mean, one can't be too sure that where the devil lies, to be honest. But at the same time, if export tax of any sort comes on HRC, it would be going to be positive. Going to be positive for people who export, like JSW and Tata Steel, and flat players particularly. So, we are quite positive on Tata Steel from that perspective. Now, one more reason for us to be most positive on Tata Steel is if you have seen ArcelorMittal's results and their commentary. I mean, that's pretty much positive on Europe. And they believe that the Q2 results are not yet fully reflective of the spreads. It will be more reflected in Q3. So, clearly we see that, on a...
Yeah. Sorry, go on, please.
Basis.
Yeah.
On a sustainable basis, we see a little bit of structural change in Europe, and that should aid Tata Steel more.
Two questions, Amit. I remember I'd spoken with you maybe a month back or something, maybe a month back. You were at that point you were a little doubtful whether the run-up is now done and maybe things will take a bit of a backseat. Maybe it's played out that way. So are you pounding the table once again in terms of commodities and steel in general? And second, this point about ArcelorMittal that you made, isn't most of what Tata Steel sells in Europe on contract pricing? So will the rise in spreads make that great difference to what Tata Steel is able to earn there?
Yeah, so yes, when we spoke last, it was about report Chinese checkers, wherein we highlighted that the policy dualism in China and the uncertainty thereof is kind of will play on the stocks, and stock performance would remain quite subdued. Even then, we were hopeful that Tata Steel will stand out, and it has exactly played that way. But in metals, things change pretty quickly. It's a dynamic sector, and that's why the charm of being in metals is there. But, having said that, I believe that if the export tax comes to 4, that is point number 1. Point number 2, one should not also lose sight of production curtailments that I have been hearing that, various provinces have been asked to enact. So that would have another impact on the market balance, essentially. So we would keep a very close tab on that. But on ArcelorMittal's release, again, I would say that if you look at their consumption, everybody's talking about the consumption growth that they have highlighted. But one again misses the fine print. They have reduced the consumption forecast estimates only for India. So our argument that, the domestic demand is subdued, and that's a risk that still remains. But we will keep a very close tab on these macro developments and possibly take a call accordingly.
Just the second point, if you can address that briefly, Amit, which is most of these contracts in Europe being on contracts, most of the agreements. So will Tata Steel be able to get great upside because of these rising steel prices?
Yeah, Prashant. So, this works is this way that immediately you won't find these spots reflecting in the contracts. But as it happens, these spot prices will get reflected. And the best part is that when the prices trend down, you will still find these contracts being negotiated at high price and they will tend to remain.
Okay.
So Tata Steel Europe enters into all kind of contracts. We still don't know the mix, but it is like almost 30% 1-year contract and a mix of quarterly contracts, spot also.
Yeah.
So, this would be very sustainable. That's what I call a sticky kind of prices.
Okay.
Because so that is something which would be beneficial for the company.
Okay, all right. So steel, you're sounding fairly bullish on, but quickly, if you could tell us, the biggest gain actually now is Hindalco. That Novelis news came more than 24 hours, maybe 48 hours ago, in terms of Novelis's guidance or the update for the past quarter. What are the hopes out there? And also, what's your view on Jindal Stainless? We had the management yesterday. They went ahead and they upped their guidance to 18 to 20,000 rupees on an EBITDA per ton from 15 to 17,000 rupees. Your take on both these two stocks, Hindalco and Jindal Stainless, very quickly.
Okay, so let me take Hindalco first. So if you see the results of Constellium were out yesterday, which is also into secondary aluminium, and they have clearly mentioned that packaging as an industry, they see tremendous potential. In fact, their EBITDA was EUR 170 million against consensus guidance of 138 million. So clearly, they beat consensus and they are very bullish on the auto. Despite semiconductor issue persisting in H2, they are saying that, because of increased usage in EV, because of increased mega trend towards lightweighting of vehicles, they still see traction in auto. And Hindalco and Novelis, they are quite, dominant in auto and packaging. So that is the point. So clearly, Constellium's good results, Alcoa's results before that, for primary aluminium, they prove that, for Hindalco, things are well set on both the fronts, domestic as well as international. And don't forget that DXY is also moving down, so that is beneficial for typically non-ferrous. Coming to your second stock that you mentioned, Jindal Stainless, yes, we like this stock, and the fact that, ferrochrome prices are moving up, nickel prices are moving up, they are supporting these stainless steel prices. And if you look at Jindal Stainless, this is a company that one should not look at with the lens of carbon steel, because they are into specialty steel that clearly, they focus more on the, I would say, not so much on volume, but on the margin side. Okay. So you have seen that the margins is like almost 24,400 rupees, which is possibly one of the highest we have seen ever. Yes. And I see deleveraging continuing, and of course the benefits of merger with Jindal Stainless Hisar would come. One thing that you have to bear in mind is that very soon you will see, after the merger and after completion of this expansion at Jajpur, you will see Jindal Stainless in a very different league. This will be the second largest company, stainless steel company in the world in China, after Outokumpu. And its market cap, of course, will go north of 11,000 crores. Okay. So it will come in radar of many,
Got it. Thanks a lot, Amit. Appreciate you stopping by and, in fact, filling us in with your take on ferrous, non-ferrous, as well as, you chipped in terms of stainless steel as well. Well, on that note, though, we'll have to slip into a short break. But on the other side, Sri Digvijay Cement, well, the stock is higher on the back of a good showing in the first quarter. We'll get chatting with Mr. Anil Singhvi, the executive chairman of the company. But the big question is, how will the July F&O series, wind down? Ahead of expiry today, we'll get chatting with Siddharth